Do you need a landscaping job tackled? Keen Landscaping is a family-owned and operated full-service landscaping company based in Dallas, Texas. Anything from property restoration and tree pruning or removal to landscape design, construction, and installation, Keen covers it all. They're also the official landscape company of the Dallas Stars. Learn more at keenlandscaping.com. Again, that's Keane, landscaping.com. Welcome to Parker's MMA Show. If you want to learn about all things going down in the fight world, you've come to the right place. Each episode, your host Parker Keane will take a deeper dive into the always entertaining world of sanctioned fist fighting. Now here's your host, Parker Keane.
All right, Parker's MMA Show, episode number 65. We have a very special guest on this episode, Jacob Lil Animal Silva. He is a 6'4" flyweight, a veteran of LFA, Fury FC, 2 appearances on the Dana White Contender Series, and he has an upcoming bout this Saturday.
Let's go.
At Fury FC 44. The guy has 6 finishes. He's finished all 6 of his wins. He's an absolute animal. We are so excited to have him on the pod. Jacob, welcome to Parker's MMA Show.
What's up, everyone? Hey, I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for the chat, man. One correction, the fight got moved to Sunday. So
it's Sunday.
It's on Sunday so that it could be on UFC Fight Pass because UFC has a fight card on Saturday. So Fury didn't want to, I guess, take away views from their own show. So they just moved it to Sunday. So now we're fighting on Sunday, on UFC Fight Pass as well.
So you heard the man. We're going to watch 3 title fights, pay-per-views on Saturday. We're all going to be buzzing about it. And you're going to wake up on Sunday and you're going to be like, man, I wish I had more fights to watch. I got great news for you.
2 more title fights coming up. 2 more title fights.
Well, Jacob, thank you for coming on the show. I want to start, a lot of our viewers are newer MMA fans or, maybe not necessarily in tune with your career. So I want to just start at the beginning, Jacob. Talk to me about where you grew up and what life was like for you growing up.
Man, so you know what's crazy? Growing up, man, life was crazy, bro. I was always fighting with my brothers. I grew up with 4 brothers, and I mean, we was always fighting, trying to get each other in a freaking headlock or that was pretty much like the only submission we all knew, just trying to choke each other and wrestle, and then fight until our parent came and, we got an ass whoop. But, I grew up in the ghetto, it wasn't the best neighborhood,
Was it in Houston?
Yes, sir. So I actually grew up in a little ward, I guess, called, First Ward, Texas, over here in Houston, we have First Ward, Second Ward, Third Ward, Fourth Ward, Fifth Ward, Sixth Ward, and so on. And I grew up in First Ward, and it was just as ghetto as I could think. But at the time, I didn't know that I was poor. I just knew that my friends had the same thing I did. So I didn't look at them differently or anything. But I mean, we all fought. Me and my neighbors, my best friends, we all fought. And it's just something we grew up doing. So then, as life went on, I eventually, started watching this UFC MMA stuff, and man, that took me by a surprise, and I just fell in love with that, and then even so, that was an accident,
So talk to me about that moment, right? How old are you when you first see MMA or UFC for the first time, and how does that happen?
So, you know what? I was like 19 probably when I first watched UFC, right? And I think I was at a bar or something. I don't know. And I just seen it on TV. And I was with my brothers and we seen your Uriah Faber fighting. But back then I used to have braids, and they'll say, "Hey, Jacob, you look like him. Y'all freaking look alike." I like, whatever. So then, they would just, try to mumble, hey, Jacob, you should fight, man. You should fight. I was like, nah, man, I don't fight. Like, that's crazy fighting. I fight with my brothers, but, I know deep down inside, we ain't trying to fucking knock each other's heads off. We just tussling, Then, I would say about when I turned 21, I just started looking into, MMA, just looking into, trying to join a gym. And then I found a gym. It was called, I think, Poker MMA, ex-UFC fighter. His name is Sam Hoger. And so then he opened up a gym over here in Houston. And I joined his gym, but, I mean, like, man, you have what it takes, blah, blah. I said, fuck that. So I just got up and left. Right, I started going to that gym. Yeah, I was like, dude, you're crazy, bro. So then, I mean, it's a lot of shit, right? So then I was going to the fucking fire academy. I was going to school so I could be a firefighter, right? This is kind of off topic, but it's on the same topic. So I was going to school so I could be a firefighter. So my friend David Armis, he was actually fighting at a gym called a Silverback Fight Club, right? Derek Lewis. He first joined. He first fought out of that gym as well. So I used to train with Derek Lewis when I was amateur, and Derek was first made his pro debut. It's a small world, right? But so then I just joined that gym just to get in shape for the fire academy because I was getting ready to start school. So as I joined the gym, I was getting in shape. My coach. Coach Tony, he was like, hey man, I see you working out. I think you'll be a great fighter, man. You can do great things. I'm like, hell no, man. I don't fight, man. I'm a lover, man. I don't fight. And so then at this time, I was probably making like $9 an hour. I just had a daughter, and my girlfriend, she moved in with us, and I mean times were hard. So I like, man, paying a fucking $100 a month for a gym fee, it just wasn't, and I mean it just didn't make sense. Anyway, long story short, Coach Tony convinced me to fight. So I said, okay, cool. Well, I was fighting. So my amateur debut ended up being a title fight, right? For freaking Legacy Amateur series, right? And then Mick Maynard was like the owner, at that time. Yep. So so I was like, okay, bro. The guy I was fighting, his name was Joe Trevino. Bro, Joe Trevino had just came off of a loss from a title fight losing to Matt Snell. Matt Snell, he currently fights in the UFC now. Yep. So Joe Trevino came off that loss, and then I was fighting him. Joe was now 3-1. I was making my amateur debut, a title fight, main event. With like 5 months of training, and man, I fucking went out there, man. We fought, the fight with the distance. I lost in I don't know if it was a decision or a split decision, but I still lost. And then man, the rest was fucking history, man. After that, I became popular, and I just kept on training and fighting. And then, as an amateur, I built up a record of 9-4 as an amateur, and I think I had like 5 amateur titles, here in fucking Houston, Gallatin, College Station and stuff. And then I eventually turned pro after fighting amateur like 4 years. I eventually, turned pro. Long story, bro. My bad.
So no, that's all good. So let's add to your amateur career a little bit. What's one of your? We asked this to all the guys. What's one of your craziest stories from your amateur fighting career?
Man, so really, it was my damn my fucking amateur debut, right? So I sold like maybe 50 tickets, right? And I mean, you gotta realize, I'm selling tickets to a bunch of like thugs or hood people. So when I took that loss, man, everybody started throwing like beer, water bottle in the middle of the cage. and then there was a fucking riot upstairs, right? And so during this riot, it was some of my friends and my family, and Daniel Pineda was up there also. You know, he fights in the damn UFC also, but at this time he wasn't. You know, so then Daniel was fighting out of a 4-ounce fight club. You know, so then whenever they all started talking shit to each other, they all started fighting. So it was like a rumble upstairs, because the fight was at the House of Blues. So the House of Blues, there's the first floor, then there's the second floor. Well, everybody was on the second floor. So then when I took that loss, you know, they all started talking mess to each other. Then they started fighting. They were throwing bottles and cups and water and beer all inside the cage, and it was crazy. So then, as I'm walking out, they asked me, "Hey, nah, man, I don't know nobody, man. I don't know them at all. You know, I'm not a snitch. I don't know nobody, man. But yeah, I mean, if anything, that was probably like the craziest moment, you know. And then it took me about a year to get another fight for Legacy, but eventually I did, you know. And and I mean, bro, yeah, that night was crazy.
So after your amateur career, when was the moment that you were like, yeah, I'm ready to go pro? And when you made that decision, what things, if anything, in your life had to change, you know, now that you're a professional fighter?
Yeah, well, you know, at that time when I turned pro, so, you know, I was already fighting for, like, you know, 9-4 was my record. So, you know, I was fighting for like 4 years as an amateur, still not making any money, you know. And then my daughter, she's like 4 at this time, you know, and you know, I'm making okay money, but now I'm working in a freaking warehouse. So you know, things are okay. And my uncle, you know, he was like, "Hey, Jacob," like, "Man, you know, it's time to turn pro, like, bro. You can't just fight amateur forever. Like, you know, it's either now or never, you know. Like, there's no big difference from you know, your amateur, from being far into your amateur career. So you're pro a day too. So I fuck it. So when I decided to turn pro, the gym I was training at closed down. So then I didn't have a gym. So I was just training with my uncle and a boxing coach. So then when we were doing that, I pretty much had 2 boxing coaches in my corner on my pro debut. So then we were fighting and stuff, and then the guy gave me a fucking knee bar, right? And I probably haven't worked jits in like 2 months, you know, we were just doing hands. So then, you know, he caught me in the freaking knee bar, and then, you know, my knee tapped like 2 or 3 times. I can feel it, you know, just popping. So then I fucking tapped out, and then after my first fight, I joined the gym that I'm at now, which is called a Metro Fight Club under coach named Saul Solis. You know, he's a pretty famous coach, though. And you know, so like the things that had to change, I mean, I really didn't change much. I just went to a different gym that had a different training strategy. You know, the fighters there were better. You know, the fighters there, they were about fighting. You know, they weren't about going out, going to clubs. You know, they took fighting fucking serious. So when I joined that type of environment, you know, that really just changed my training level as well. So I mean, I didn't change much until COVID had happened, because ever since April 2020, I was working a full-time job, you know, and then whenever April came about with the whole COVID virus, then I got laid off. Then I was like, well, fuck it, you know, I'm about to just become a full-time fighter now since I'm fucking laid off. So, you know, I didn't change anything until COVID had happened. You know, I was never training 2-3 times a garbage training, you know, once a day. But when I will go train, you know, I make it count. So, you know, I probably wouldn't be here where I'm at now if it wasn't for my coach.
So talk to me, Jacob. Obviously, you mentioned it here, but you come out, you turn pro, and you lose the first two, right? What is that like mentally, and how did you overcome that?
So you know what's crazy is that when I joined Metro Fight Club, I only trained with Coach Saul for like a month, maybe 3 weeks. But the last week I'm just trying to cut weight. So you know, I eventually went and I fought my second opponent, and then I lost to him in a freaking decision, right? And then that guy, he eventually went, you know, on a freaking a fucking kill streak. You know, he eventually won the freaking LFA title, right? Then he went to the fucking UFC, right? So now I'm like, fuck, like, man, you know, I went the distance with him. You know, I should be there. You know, I gotta be there. But you know, I wasn't financially stable as much as that guy. I mean, you know, not saying anything like that, but you know, my life, you know, outcomes were different. You know, I had to pay bills. You know, I couldn't just focus on training. You know, I wasn't making, my fight purse wasn't more than my paycheck. So I'm like, why am I gonna, you know, go fight and miss a week of work when I'm gonna lose money? So if anything. So then, dude, I forgot the damn question you asked me.
What I asked you about is how do you overcome mentally 2 losses in a row at the beginning of your pro career?
Yeah, well, you know what? When I lost those 2 fights, man, I told myself, like, Jacob, you can't lose 3 fights in a row. You know, even as an amateur, I never lost 3 fights in a row. I mean, I lose 2, but then I would come back. You know, so then whenever that 3rd fight came, my coach was like, Jacob, just freaking listen to me, just you know, try to stay calm, and like, you know, you're not better. You're like, you know, this guy isn't better than you or anything like that. So I was just you know, it was really my coach talking positivity to me, you know, and that's, you know, that's what really kept me from fighting myself, you know, was my coach, you know, talking to me. But I mean, I've never seen myself going 0-3. You know, I always see myself, you know, I might lose 2, but you know, I'm gonna win the freaking 3rd fight. So this fight coming up, you know, I'm gonna win this 3rd fight because I can't lose 3 in a row.
So obviously something worked, right? Because after losing 2, you then rattle off 6 finishes in a row. Was it something that just clicked for you that changed, or do you think it was you growing gradually over time?
I think it was me growing gradually over time, as well as being with the new gym. You know,
yeah.
With my new sparring partners. You know, everyone who was, you know, committed to training, you know, who was, you know, like I said, the freaking atmosphere was completely different than what, you know, I was used to. So whenever I would see my training partners at the gym every single day, you know, when class is done, you know, we're going running, you know, we do our 3 miles after class. You know, at my first gym, you know, we didn't have that. You know, it was just, you know, everybody showed up to spar, and then, you know, that was it. You know, and then it was just the quality of training that was given, and my training partners. You know, I mean, it was just better quality training. You know, and I think that's what made me, you know, involved into the fighter that I became.
Cool. So Jacob, you get those 6 finishes in a row. Then you get the call for the Dana White Contender Series. What was that moment like for you, and what was that experience of just being involved, you know, with the UFC and everything that comes with that?
Man, that experience was amazing, bro. It was like nothing I've ever experienced. You know, it's something that, you know, I could get used to. You know, and I mean, I was in awe at first. Like, I was like, holy shit, like, you know, this is serious, you know. The freaking, not the PI, but the damn other place, wherever the
Apex.
There you go, the fucking Apex. Man, that place was dope. Like, that place was bad. I mean, it was, there, belts on the walls and pictures and stuff on the walls, man. It was something that, you know, I wasn't even fucking expecting. But, I mean, whenever they called me for that, you know, I was like, man, let's go, you know. I mean, I didn't care who the opponent was or anything.
All right. So this big fight you got coming up this weekend, kind of tell us what's at stake for you and what do you think of your opponent?
My opponent, I think he's okay. You know what I mean? I don't think he's better than the last two guys I fought. I mean, you know, he has a pretty decent record. You know, we fought a lot of the same guys, you know, here in Texas. I don't see anything dangerous about him besides probably his size. You know, I think when he comes in, I think he's probably going to be he might weigh more than me, if anything. But overall, I think I'm the better athlete, a better fighter. I think my cardio is much better than his. If it goes into the 4th or the 5th round, I'm gonna break him. I'm gonna break him. When I fought Jeffrey, on my first fight on the Contender series, if that would have been a 5-round fight, oh God, he'd have been done. Cause that 3rd round, I turned it up, and oh God, he was just freaking walking backwards. I mean, he wasn't even trying to fight, you know. And I took too long to turn it up. You know, I thought I did pretty good the first round. Then the 2nd round, you know, I slacked. That's when, you know, he turned it up. Then the 3rd round, you know, I just brought it. And oh God, he wasn't ready for that kind of pressure, you know. But I mean, he got the decision or the split, you know, whichever it was. But the guy I'm fighting, he's okay. What's weird is that my coach trained his coach when his coach fought in the damn UFC. So I mean, bro, everything is like, this whole fucking Texas community is small, man. So when his coach, his name is Pete Spratt. So Pete Spratt used to fight in the UFC, and my coach Sauce, so at least he used to train him as well, you know. So they're like friends and stuff. So now it's like, you know, they're fighting out of San Antonio, we fight out of Houston, and, you know, so it's, I mean, it's all fun and love, you know, but, you know, when that cage closes, you know, it's personal, man.
For sure. So, hey, what are your goals? This is something I ask all the guys. What are your goals for the rest of the year here in 2021?
So my goal, this is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping I win this fight, right? And then I get a fucking short notice call, like 3-4 day notice. Maybe somebody got COVID or can't make weight, they pull out. And then I save the day, I step in, I make weight. You know, I get that phone call, then I'm signed to them UFC. Or Fury, they're having another show April 18th. Or hopefully I could defend my belt again if I have to, you know, April 18th. And then you know, maybe tweet Mick or Dana, but hey, you know, I'm on a 2-fight win streak. You know, what I got to do is till I get on the Contender series again, or a freaking short notice call, man. So, you know, those are my goals, is to you know, win this fight, and then hopefully I get a car. If not, then I'll be fighting April 18th, and then, you know, hopefully I can get that fight again. Then at that time I'll be 8-4, you know, and which is it's pretty good, you know. So that's my goal, and then I want to fight 3 times this year, if anything. I like to fight 3 times. So this time is 1 Sunday, and then, you know, 2 more times.
Cool. All right, I got one more for you, and then Billy's got a little rapid fire questions for you. So, what does it mean to you to be a martial artist, and what is the most important thing that fighting has brought to your life?
So, really, I wouldn't consider myself as a martial artist, because I haven't really studied art form for many of years. When I first started MMA, like I said, I didn't even know how to fight. Like, I first started with jab. I first started to try to strip. I didn't know anything. So then, so I don't consider myself as a martial artist. I just consider myself as someone who's trying his hardest. So whenever I try to have my daughter, I want her to look up to me, and I'm never gonna quit. I'm not gonna quit doing anything. So if I see myself quitting, then I know that my daughter is watching me, also. Hey, 1 second. Check it out. This the owner, man, of fucking Fury Fighting Championship, brother.
Hey, let's go.
Hey,
what's
man,
going on?
We gotta do business, man. I'm doing a little podcast at the moment, man. Oh, you busy? Yeah, bro. I'm always busy, man. Sorry about that, man.
All right, Jacob, let's do our rapid fire, and then we'll get you out of here because I know you're a busy man. We do this with everybody, 5 rapid fire questions. There's always a theme to them, usually not about MMA. This one, I know you're a Houston guy, so I did a Houston theme for you. Rapid fire, whatever comes to the top of mind. Ready?
Yeah.
Number 1, what is the best restaurant in Houston?
Mike's Seafood.
Number 2, who is your favorite musician or rapper from Houston?
It's a rapper called Zero.
Zero.
There we go.
Yeah.
Number 3, which Houston athlete would be best at MMA?
Oh man, bro, that's a good one. I would say Marlon Esparza. She's a boxer. She boxes in the Olympics. I think she'll be really good.
All right. Number 4, what is the one thing you must do if you visit Houston?
You gotta eat the barbecue. You gotta come to Mike's Seafood as well, though. But I mean, you gotta go. You gotta find a good barbecue spot, and go find some barbecue. If anything, you do. And then seafood too, bro. Seafood.
Last question. If you could be mayor of Houston for a day, what would you do or change?
Well, I would probably give myself a day. It'll be the fucking Jacob Silva day or something like that. And then, I would I'm so serious. And then I would probably change some laws. I would try to give some teachers a raise somehow. Man, they do it a lot, and they're very underpaid. And they're very underappreciated. So I would try to give them a raise if anything.
Love to hear it. Hey, he's Jacob Silva. Jacob, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. He's fighting this Sunday. Very big fight. Watch it. You're going to be fiending for MMA on Sunday after the big pay-per-view. So, Jacob, we can't wait to watch you this Sunday. Thank you so much. This is Parker's MMA show. Any last shout-outs? Anything you want to get to the people before we sign off?
Hey, man, I want to thank Drip Dynamic, Acomir Taco, Mike Seafood, who else? Tommy Mingador, fucking law firm, fucking thing, Michael Emergency Room. Hey, everybody. Hey, man, I appreciate everything. Oh, and Metro Fight Club. I'll see y'all Sunday.
Let's go.
Boom. That's it. Jacob Silva. Let's go. Sunday. Tune in. That was Parker's MMA show, episode 65. Thank you all.
See y'all later.
Share, rate, subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll see y'all next time.
Texas Trees is the premier tree care company in the DFW area. Whether you need basic maintenance or specialized services, when it comes to trees, we've got you covered. Pruning, chipping, bracing, and cabling, even root barriers and disease control, we do it all. And if you aren't sure what you need, we have certified arborists on staff to point you in the right direction. Visit us at northtexastrees.net. That's northtexastrees.net. Thanks for listening to Parker's MMA Show. Take a moment to rate and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, and visit ParkerKeensMMAShow.podbean.com for additional information on Parker and to stay up to date on the latest drama in the fight world. For more information and important links about today's episode, check out the show notes.